Hey, how's it going today, team? My name's Curtis Miller, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to pack a backpack for a trip, expedition, or whatnot, alright? So today we're going to be using an 80-liter pack, but all the skills will be transferable throughout pack sizes, okay? So first things first, we're just going to go over where to put stuff in your pack by density, you know, where the hard stuff goes, where the soft stuff goes. We're just going to draw that out, a little picture, and then later on in the tutorial, guys, we're going to actually get a pack, and we're going to pack that. I'm going to show you guys how I pack my pack, and hopefully you can take some of those skills and apply them in your own backpacking when you're packing, alright? So first things first, we're just going to go ahead. We're going to show you a little diagram of where stuff goes. Let's get right into that. Alright, team, so we're just going to get right into it. We're just going to go over where to put stuff in your pack, where the soft stuff goes, where the hard stuff goes, stuff like that. So first things first, my good drawing here. We have the center of the backpack here, and these are the straps going around here. And then this is the front of the pack here. We have the top and we have the bottom. So first things first, on the bottom portion, I usually like to put my sleeping bag down there. Probably my fly for my tent, and maybe some warm camp clothing such as a down jacket, some down pants. Alright, moving on to the center of the pack here, guys. It's probably one of the most important sections in my opinion. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to have my big food barrel. I'm going to put that right on top of my sleeping bag, right against my back, alright? And then just going to fill in the spaces here. So down at the bottom corner, I'm going to have my repair kit, so sewing stuff, multi-tools, maybe some wire, buckles for the backpack, just stuff like that. So if I need to make a repair on the field, I can do that. Next thing, right along the front here, team, is I'm going to have my clothes, alright? So that's going to be almost all my clothes, excluding my warm layers, which are going to be in the bottom here. So all my clothes for the duration of my trip. Along the top here, on top of my food, team, is I'm going to have all my cooking stuff. So I'm going to have my stove and my pot set, alright, all my utensils. That's going to go up against the food and still against the back because it does have a bit of weight to it. Next thing, team, we're getting towards the top of the pack here. So up there, I'm going to have any rain gear. Also have my lunch in there. And maybe a snack or two, but they'll probably go on the brain. So we're going to have our lunch, rain gear, anything that I'm going to need during the day, but doesn't have to be super accessible, alright? Beauty. I may also put my first aid kit just along the back here. It's pretty large, so I'll probably put that up near the top, right here. Alright, so getting to the brain of the pack, or the very top, that little top section. So in there, I'm going to have my 10 essentials. So I'm going to have my headlamp. I'm going to put snacks up there, whatnot. Maybe some blister stuff if we're hiking, extra pair of socks possibly. But yeah, most of all, just my 10 essentials up at the top there. Maybe a water bottle on the top if you don't have any outside pockets. Alright, last thing I'm going to put in my pack here, team, is my Thermarest, alright? So most bags have that little part that just sticks off the front there. Inside there is I'm going to put my tent poles in there. Tent poles, and I'm also going to put my roll mat. Beauty. So I have one that blows up and then one that doesn't blow up. So I'm going to roll those both together and put them in the front of there. Sweet, that's about it, guys. One more thing is just stuff that you can put on the outside of your pack in those water bottle holders and whatnot. So I personally don't, but know a lot of people, you can put fuel bottles on the outside. Fuel, and I'll be putting water bottles, so water, on the outside of my pack. Also, if you guys have any gaiters, trekking poles, stuff like that, you'll probably want to cramp that on the outside too. You just don't want to have any dangly stuff hanging off that's going to get caught on trees, stuff like that. I try to stick away from those big foam roll mats just on the bottom. They get stuck on branches. It's not really good LNT just because all that foam's just going to be left on the trail when it rips off, and you're not going to have a good sleep on that crappy foam roll anymore. So I try to keep all that inside my bag. But yeah, just fuel, water, trekking poles, whatever you need. Put that on the outside, just make sure it's nice and cinched. Alright, now we're going to get into actually packing the bag. seeing what goes where, and it's going to make a lot more sense. Sweet, let's give her. Hey, how's it going, team? So I know we just went over roughly, draw it out, how to pack your backpack, just kind of where weight and stuff goes, but now we're actually going to get in the specifics of stuff, and I'm going to actually show you how I pack my backpack for a trip, alright? So today I'm going to be using my Arc'teryx Bora 80 pack, so this is an 80-liter pack, and the medium size. First things off, guys, something I always do highly recommend is either loosen or unbuckle those straps, alright? So if you have straps buckled up and they're tight, it's going to be really hard to pack stuff and it's not going to pack well. So just unbuckle those or loosen them off so you have max space available for your pack, alright? So I already threw some stuff in here, team. What we got in there is we have my 2 sleep mats and tent poles. So I have one that if it were to get a puncture in it or something like that, it wouldn't go totally flat. So you don't get a cold bum and a cold back, alright? But this one here, if it was to get a hole in it, it would be completely flat. So I just bring both, so it would be double sure. And I got my tent poles here, alright? So the next part that I like to pack is the bottom, okay? So in there now, team, I have my sleeping bag, alright? Some of the other stuff I like to put in there, team, is my tent, alright? So you can see it's a totally different compartment. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab my footprint, alright? I usually just kind of fold it, rumple it together. So for this trip, team, I'm only going to be using my fly and my footprint, alright? I'm not going to be using the body of the tent. So I usually put this in on the left side, okay? Just beside my sleeping bag, just to fill in that hole there. Beauty. And I'm also going to be putting in my fly with my sleeping bag, so we'll go ahead and grab that. And for this, I'm just going to be stuffing it in the bottom, just filling in those little spaces. Alright, team, so I have my whole shelter set up and my sleeping bag in the bottom chunk of this pack here, right? So we're going to go ahead and zip that up. Beauty, now we got that zipped up, okay? Next thing I'm going to be throwing in my pack is all my food. So this is going to be all my lunches except for the day that I'm on, all my dinners and all my breakfasts, alright? We're going to be putting that in to a bear barrel here, alright? So I'm going to set this down inside of the bottom of my pack, alright? And it's going to go on top of my sleeping bag, right against the pack, alright? Quite a bit of weight in here, so we want this right towards our back, in the center. So we're going to slide that in there. Nice and easy. Push it down, make sure it's all the way to the bottom, okay? Beauty. So what I like to do, team, we got this space on each side of it now, okay? So what I like to fill in there with, gonna put my repair kit, alright? This has got some weight to it, so I'm gonna slide it down on the side, okay? Slide that down there. On the next side, team, I'm gonna put my hygiene kit and utensils and whatnot for cooking, spatulas, can openers, stuff like that. So those are gonna go together. Those are gonna get slipped down the opposite side. On the other side, team, this is going to go beside my food, just down the side of the food barrel, and this is my whole cooking system in here, alright? So I got my stove in here, fuel in here, and a little bowl, alright? So that's going to get slid down the side there. Nice and easy. Beauty. And I have my little GSI Fair Share mug here, alright? I do not put stuff in here to save space because I most likely am going to have lunch and other food contents in here, so this would usually have my lunch in it. But I'm just going to slide that down on top of my cooking system there. Beauty, so we got that nicely in there, team. Awesome. Next thing that I'm going to be putting in is my clothing, okay? So I'm just going to have my little 10-liter compression sack here, and we're going to set that in. Next thing I'm going to be putting in is my first aid kit here, alright? I'm going to be setting that up against the back. Fits in there pretty nicely. Next thing I'm going to be putting in here, team, is just another layer, okay? So for that, just using a little synthetic jacket here, and I'm just going to shove that down the front of the pack. Beauty. Next thing I'm going to be putting in, team, is my waterproofs. So we got the pants here. And once again, team, just filling in the holes with those. And we have our jacket, rain jacket here. And we're just sliding that down the side. Beauty. So we're basically done with the top portion of the bag here, all filled up, ready to get closed up, all right? Then we're just gonna move on to the brain. So we'll close that up, cinch it up like that. All nice and compact. Get that nice and tight. Just make sure you're tucking away all this stuff. Don't want that hanging out, getting stuck in a tree, pulling you down, okay? That would hurt. So we'll just tie those up out of the way quick here. Beauty. Alright, team, now we're going to be moving on to the brain of the pack, right? This is going to be sitting on the pack like this. Going to be throwing maybe some snacks, possibly lunch in there, and most importantly, my 10 essentials are going to go in here, alright? So most bags obviously have a little key thing on there. I put my keys on there, and I also always have a whistle on these, okay? All my bags, I always just keep the whistle on there so I'm not forgetting it. Next thing I'm going to be putting in is water purification. So just got some aqua tabs here. Make sure those are in a Ziploc bag, and we'll just throw them in. Next thing, I got my multi-tool. Gonna have some sunscreen, my logbook, and my Write in the Rain. Okay, got 2 pencils too in case one breaks. Gonna have my compass. May also be on my person too. Got my headlamp and a lighter just in a Ziploc bag here, so waterproof lighter. I also have another fire starting method, which is matches, and that's just in my repair kit, so you always want to be carrying at least 2 with you well in the field, team. Next thing, I'm also going to be putting my trowel in there too. This never touches my poo, so I'm fine with it, just dirty. And we'll just shove it in there if it's not too dirty. If it is muddy and stuff, I'll usually just put it in one of the water bottle holders on the outside of my pack. Beauty. So once we got all that filled up, team, probably going to have our lunch in here too, so it's going to be a little fuller. And sometimes I like to put my Nalgene in there if I have 2, one on the outside, one on the inside. So we'll throw that in there. If you don't have too much room in your bag, you can also, you're expecting rain, something like that, you can put your rain jacket in here too. One thing I always like to keep at the top, just in case there is rain, is just my pack cover. So this is just a sil nylon pack cover, and that's going to go over your pack. Keep it a little more dry. So I'll shove that in there too. Sweet. So we can give that a nice zip up. And then we'll place it on top of our pack here, alright? So once again, we're just going to loosen up all the straps. and then clip those in. Alright team, so once we got the top of the pack here, the brain on top, we got that all cinched down with our straps, alright? Nothing sticking out, dangling, all good to go. Now we're going to start working our way from the bottom up, tightening up all those straps, okay? So go ahead and do that. Make sure they're nice and tight and evenly tightened. Beauty. Alright team, once you got all those straps nice and cinched up on the side of your pack, alright? Nothing's dangling out, everything's inside. You're ready to go for your trip, okay? Your bag is nice and packed. Sweet. Alright, thanks team for watching this instructional video on how to pack a backpack for an expedition or a trip. Thank you. Cheers guys.